Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for my final consecutive streaming day of the week, which is Monday, the 18th of April, 2022. Well, let's talk about today. Some highs and some lows, let's put it that way. Pre-stream podcast went pretty smoothly. Nothing too particularly interesting to talk about on the podcast today. It was more of a chill podcast where I just kind of answered some questions and talked a little bit with all of you about how stuff was going. No big deals there. And I had a good time with it, so thanks to those who did attend the pre-stream podcast today. There's a lot of discussion actually about Elden Ring for a while, about my plans of what I was going to do today on the stream. So then, on the Elden Ring stream, we got a lot done. First of all, defeated the boss that had kicked my butt at the tail end of the last stream. I had this strategy that I wanted to try, and it took a little bit to make it happen, to make it work. I had to refine it a little bit. It worked. Boom. Beat the boss. Insane rewards. I was like, holy crap, couldn't believe it. I was very pleased with how that went, for sure. Then, I ended up doing a few odds and ends around the game. There was this invasion quest line for a giant pot that I did, and I got a good reward for it. I actually did the entirety, up until, as far as I can go at this point in the game, of the Gold Mask NPC quest line. While I was doing that, I found out that I had to respec myself to have an intelligence build. So when I did that, I said, well, what do I have that I can use if I respec myself to have an intelligence build? I have a giant Dark Moon Greatsword, which is the equivalent of the Moonlight Greatsword in any of the Dark Souls games. And then, as I was doing the Gold Mask quest line, I ended up killing a mini-boss of sorts, and got another sword called the Steeple Greatsword. They're both intelligence greatswords. So now I'm dual-wielding two giant greatswords that are intelligence build and have magic abilities, which is kind of neat. Admittedly, not as good as my other build. Doesn't seem to do as much damage, DPS, but it's kind of neat to have two giant magical swords swinging around and be able to do big projectiles. So then when I finished the Gold Mask quest line, or at least again got as far as I possibly could, I went back to that snowfield. Forget exactly what it's called, Consecrated Snowfield or something like that. I started exploring. Found some optional things, puzzles, another tower with a puzzle to solve to get inside. Fought some enemies, ended up doing another boss fight that someone had told me about. They said they just didn't even tell me there was a boss there. They were like, just go to the end of the river. Oh, okay. Oh, look, giant boss. I won't spoil on what it is. It's not too exciting, to be honest. But I ended up killing it and got a good reward for that. It was a good stream overall. It was good progress. People liked it. A lot of attendance because I'm in the harder endgame stuff that is kicking my butt. It's not like I'm steamrolling anything anymore. I'm just not. But I'm still having a good time with it, okay? Great stream. Support was pretty good. No complaints, okay? The late stream today. I knew the late stream was going to be either a big success or a big disaster because I was putting it in the hands of the viewers. There was a poll that I ran on the main channel page of DSPGaming on the community tab to determine what Game Pass game we would play for this very first night of kind of exploratory streams in Game Pass. You guys voted, I should say you guys, but I don't know how many of you actually voted, for the Outer Wilds. Now, this is a game that I had played twice before. Once I played it during a late-night Game Pass exploration stream where basically we were trying out random games. I played it for like 45 minutes that night and thought it was an interesting premise for a game. Then during a Game Pass marathon, again, it kind of got voted in to be tried out, and I played it for about an hour. So essentially, I had about an hour to an hour, 45 minutes of this game under my belt. What this game is you're in an open solar system. You're in a spaceship. You fly around to various planets. You explore said planets. On those planets, you find technology like bases and spaceships from another civilization. You're trying to piece together what happened with that civilization. At the same time, you're also finding people from your own home planet who have traveled around this solar system. And you're trying to figure out where they are and if they're all right. Now, while this is all happening, as you're trying to piece together everything, after every 22 minutes, the sun goes supernova and destroys the whole galaxy. Then you respawn. And it all starts over like Groundhog Day. It's kind of like a roguelike almost, okay? But you retain any knowledge that you'd previously found, and you actually have this star map or star chart map on your spaceship that shows you all these plot lines and things you found for each planet. Oh, here's a clue to find something on this planet. Here's a clue to do this and that. So, I played it for about 45 minutes, all right? Within the first 20 minutes, I realized this was going to be a bad idea. Why? Because now I know that every 22 minutes, the sun goes supernova. So that means that in the 22 minutes, you have to fly to where you want to go, land, explore, get everything you wanted to find in that area within 22 minutes. Because if you don't do it in 22 minutes, you get killed and you have to start it all over. which is a pain in the ass. You didn't finish what you were doing. You don't want to go back and have to go halfway through it again, you see? So immediately as I'm doing this, my first run, I'm realizing I can't interact with my audience. I'm literally hyper-focused on the game, trying to do stuff in it, because I'm in a rush. I'm in a panic rush. Things going to go super enough. I got to go. And I turn back to my audience, and they're all like, wow, this sucks. We want to talk to Phil tonight and have a chill stream. And this is not just, trolls or anything. This is regulars, newcomers. Yeah, trolls. A bunch of people who all want to talk to me. And they're like, man, we love your late night chill streams. This ain't chill. This is kind of boring because we can't really talk to you because of the nature of the game. And so, I went into my second run. Okay, my second run, I actually was getting a lot done, then I died. I slipped off a cliff or something. Got sucked into a black hole or whatever. And essentially by half an hour of gameplay, everyone watching, fans, non-fan, everyone was saying, this sucks. This is boring. This game does not really work. And so I came to a determination. It's this simple. The game is good. I actually like Outer Wilds. I can see why a lot of people liked it and said it was a great game. This is the kind of game that you sit there and you play for yourself. You have a beer next to you or a drink, and you're relaxing at night, and you don't have any pressure because you're not performing for an audience, and you just sit there and you play at your own pace, your own leisure, and you enjoy the game. You don't have to interact with anyone. You don't have any commitment to anyone to do nothing, right? You could just play it and enjoy it. Who cares about the 22 minutes? If it blows up or whatever, fuck it. Who cares? You're not rushing to make entertaining content. When I play a game, I'm trying to make entertaining content for my audience. Now, if there was no timer in this game, then this game would have been similar to, say, Minecraft or possibly Subnautica, or maybe even a recent game like I played, The Forgotten City, where you just have opportunity to explore, figure stuff out for yourself, and have a good time. Because the game has the 22-minute time limit, it destroys that. It shatters that. Do I really have to pause the game entirely every time I want to turn and talk to my audience so that time doesn't pass and I don't, go to a new cycle? That's stupid. So I hate to say it, this game just doesn't feel to me like it's a game that's designed well for the kind of streaming that I do. If I was the old Phil from back in the day, and I was someone who sat here and just hyper-focused on the game, and that was it, then this kind of content would work. But it's not. I'm an interactive streamer now. I'm here to chill with you guys and have fun and have conversation. I couldn't do that with this game. This game was literally distracting me constantly, and I couldn't do that. And I felt bad because I know there were people who wanted to see it, but after playing it for 45 minutes, I was like, I got to chalk this one up to a failure. What am I going to do, right? So I did it. So I said, what do we want to do? Well, a lot of people in stream chat started yelling, we want to see I Am Fish. And I'm like, yeah, but guys, you have to understand something. If I jump into another game right now, especially a game that was in the running for that night and lost the poll, people who want to see that game, who are not on that stream, are going to be pretty upset to know that they've missed out on a whole gameplay session of said game because it was unannounced. All right? So I said to everyone, instead of that, let's just do an impromptu Q&A session. I did almost 90 minutes of Q&A tonight, okay? So, by the time you see this video, it may not all be live, especially that Q&A video is very lengthy. It might take a while to process, but give it a look. In fact, we had an interesting discussion about the possibility of me watching the Down the Rabbit Hole video about Wings of Redemption. And I actually revealed in that video, and you can find the full details in the video, that I talked to Wings about it, and he seems to be cool with me doing it. He doesn't seem to have any issue with it at all. He'd be okay with it. So, if he's cool with it, I don't see any reason to not do it. Obviously, I would want to run it by the guy who made the video, but it seems like people want to see me do this. I don't know really why. Like, I was telling everyone, like, oh, you got to make a special event out of it. You should plan it out, and you should have I was like, why is this some big special deal? To me, it's just like, it's just something different to do to break up my content for variety's sake. I don't think you see it as a big event, but people seem to be, like, hype about it for some odd fucking reason. I don't know. But anyway, it's a consideration. It was one part of this giant Q&A that we did. Give it a look when you get a chance, okay? So today was supposed to be the beginning of these rotating Game Pass games, and all that happened was we ended up eliminating a game that we're not going to play again, okay? So, we had a discussion. How can we avoid this from happening again? Well, it's very possible that trolls thought that that game was going to suck, and that's why they voted for it. Could be. I don't know. Maybe it was a bunch of people who legitimately liked the game and wanted to see it. I don't know. But whatever happened, basically people tonight were a little upset, and they were like, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you, for the next Game Pass game, which is going to be Thursday night, by the way, Why don't you have members do it instead? Instead of it being open polling, why don't you have members vote on the poll? Only members, because you had about 300, 350 channel members. You can basically have a good amount of people vote, and hopefully they'll pick something that's a little better that people will like, or at the very least, maybe your members will actually show up to support and like it, right? Okay, so that's what I think we're going to do. Tomorrow's my day off. I hope you all have a good, safe day away. Please, get caught up on the videos if you'd like. Please remember to like them as always for engagement purposes. Leave comments. It all helps. When I come back on Wednesday, it'll be pre-stream podcast. We'll set up the poll. It'll be a members-only poll, and members will vote for what the next Game Pass game will be on Thursday night. Wednesday will be Lego Star Wars on the first stream and Skyrim on the late stream. Remember that Thursday is the return of my Q&A show, Ask the King. Very detailed Q&A show, 3+ hours of content. Please post up your questions if you haven't yet on DSPGaming.com. If you're a member, there's a thread on the main channel page for just members to post up their questions. But please swing by and check it out on Thursday. First time I'm doing this since Christmas, okay? And Thursday night is going to be this new Game Pass stream where the members are going to pick what the game is. And we'll see if this goes more smoothly, right, than just the simple, everyone voting and then it ends up being something no one wanted, okay? I think this is a cool way to give extra perk to members. Members have wanted more perks, so this will give another piece of power to the members, okay? And then if you're wondering, yes, Friday is the continuation of Elden Ring, and Friday will be Old School Street Fighter, so it's like a combination of good stuff all in one day. I know people want to see more endgame Elden Ring, and it's coming, just that we have Ask the King in the interim, okay? So, guys, thank you for a great streaming week. Sorry I couldn't really give you anything great tonight. The game was a flop. Also, support was a huge flop. Even for the Q&A, the support was incredibly slow. I hope next week things will be better. I seriously do, because this week, every time I played Lego, when I played Skyrim, with one exception, but mostly when I played Skyrim, and now this Game Pass stream, all was slow. It's like, damn, that's not good. It's one thing if you have like 1 or 2 games that aren't doing so well. Have my streams. It's like Elden Ring is great and everything else is kind of like bad, and like that sucks. I hope that things will change for the better next week, all right? Guys, thank you. Please have a good evening. I'll see you all on Wednesday, all right? Have a good Tuesday away. Peace out.